Hello, everyone. Welcome to the talk today. My name is Claire from BNB Chain, and joining me to the talk today are our partners in NodeReal and Project 12. Today, we're going to cover the topic about creating a paradigm shift for next-gen games with a complete infrastructure. And first, let's get warming up with our introduction about the speakers today. So introducing from NodeReal, we have Freddie, Head of Growth, and Jimmy, Senior Solution Architect at NodeReal. From the Project 12, we have Boyang, the founder, and Isaac, P12 Evangelist. Hello, guys. It is a pleasure to talk to you today. How about we should start first with a NodeReal family and have some brief introduction about you guys. So let's start first with Freddie.
Sure, sounds good. Thank you, Claire, for having us today. Right. So, hi everyone. I'm Freddie. I'm with the NodeReal team. I'm the head of growth. I look after the BDs and the growth of the business as well. So, typically, I wanted to share a little bit more what NodeReal does and all that. Right. So today we have the chance to be with Isaac Boyang's team, P12, and together with the BNB Chain team. Right. So, and together with me today, Jimmy, our senior solutions architect. Both of us are from the NodeReal family, and we are a blockchain infrastructure company. What we typically do is that we do one-stop infrastructure solutions for projects and all that, typically enhancing and also promoting the scalability and reliability of our services for all the developers and enterprise as well. So this is where we promote the massive growth and also work together with chains ecosystem like BNB Chain to promote mass adoptions and also long-term success of the Web3 ecosystem. Share a little bit more about our one-stop solutions on how this is so different and so exciting for all of us on this call as well, right? Is that for NodeReal, we are a one-stop solutions that can do end-to-end servicing, and we focuses a lot on enterprise solutions like those side chains and encompass of some innovative solutions like ZKBNB and optimistic rollout as well. So we don't only work on the individual level like to developer, but we also focuses a lot on working with the projects, with the enterprise on drafting solutions and customizing solutions for them as well. So I won't want to go into too many details right now. I'll share a lot more in after this call. Right now, I'll hand it back to Claire first. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I do realize that infrastructure is like a backbone of any project, and I love to see your vision in 2023 about how NodeReal can assist not only individual or projects, but also with the enterprise solution as well, which is quite sack in this kind of industry because we're still at the very early beginning. Now let's see what do we have at P12 team. Very, very mysterious faces. So Isaac, can you please help us introducing yourself and Boyang as well? Thank you.
Absolutely. Hey guys, thanks for having me, Claire, and good to be here with Freddie and Jimmy, and also our lovely founder Boyang. First, apologies for not having a webcam for both of us. So yeah, my name is Isaac. I'm the evangelist here in P12. I typically responsible for marketings and operations. And today we have our founder Boyang here tuned in as well. P12 is a Web3 gaming platform and a game creator infrastructure. Our ecosystem consists of three parts: the econ, the infra, and also the editor. For the econ, we tend to solve the instability or the insustainability of game economy by implementing a set of economical rules written in the form of smart contract. And for infra, we provide APIs and SDKs for a one-stop solution for developers to bridge their gaming assets and source codes or whatever they have on chain, right? And what really differentiate us is the editor. We have a team of 600 plus developers building our editor based on Unreal 4 for almost 2 years. We regularly post a lot of demo videos in our YouTube channels, and also we post release notes in our Mirror account. So if you guys are ever interested or curious about what we have been working on or what is our work in progress, check out our YouTube account. Just search Project 12 on YouTube, and you'll be able to see all the updates, the demos that we post on a weekly basis. Thank you.
Of course, Isaac. After this, I'm gonna check out the YouTube video real quick. I guess that today we're gonna have a very friendly talk with an infrastructure platform and a Web3 platform about games, which is gonna be very beneficial for any GameFi, NFT games, and projects that would like to step into this industry next year. This year might not be the best time for launch, as all of us might know, but it's going to be a perfect time for building, especially for the real ones that are looking for strong foundation and infrastructure as the base. Let's get more into details on the solutions and how we can assist the projects by going through our questions today. And for especially for the audience who are watching this talk, if you have any other question, any concerns, any case study that you would like to consult our experts here, just comment down below and we will pick out the best question to ask the team here. Let's start with Team P12 first. What differentiate P12 from other Web3 gaming projects in the market? I know that this question might be going around for quite a while, but it would be perfect to have the core team member to go over it again.
Definitely, right. So a very good question, and we get that a lot, to be honest. And we see a lot of gaming platforms out there, right? Either in Web 2 or Web 3. The key difference here in P12 is that not only do we tackle the sustainability of gaming, not only do we trying to be an all-inclusive gaming platforms where a developer can build, they can publish their games, and they can get access to a very niche group of gamer. Out of the most important features, we also tackle the game creation part, right? So this sort of throw us back to our vision, or how we envision P12 or our Plaza editor can do in the future of Web3 gaming as a form of UGC. So basically, the lack of toolkits or game creation kits, in the markets or in the current gaming space is a key problems to all the gamers and also all the developers. Right? The threshold, the barriers of creating games and game-related contents is pretty high. And providing a low-code, low-threshold game editor can empower creativities in the gaming space. Make sure that the UGCs, can really inject that vibrancies into every gaming ecosystems, right, including P12 ecosystem. And that's our unique solution, our unique vision, and that's what really differentiate us among all the reasons. Yeah. And I believe Boyang have something to say.
Yeah, I just want to quickly add that what differentiates P12 with other Web3 gaming platforms? Well, we just crossed 1 million mark for registered users. All of these registered players or users, they have their gaming accounts associated with it. So you can check all of these 1 million users and see what games they have played in the past, how much money they spend in their previous games, how many hours they spend on the games. So that user base differentiates us. Yeah, we believe that is a pretty good place to start.
Obviously, we can spend like all day talking about theory, but number will speak. And no matter how hard a project trying to say that we are different, the users will be the one having the final talk. And the love, the interaction, and the fans that you guys are having is quite speaking the loud noise for that. And surrounding this topic, Freddie and Jimmy, I would like to ask that recently NoteReal just released a research report about P12. And I have to say this is very detailed and very comprehensive for anyone who would like to research more about in this industry. So in case that our audience doesn't have the time and the resources to get access into this kind of document, would you go over real quick some highlights and share with us about your thinking about P12?
Yep, absolutely. So thank you. Boyang and Isaac, I think they covered most of the differentiator of themselves and other gaming platforms as well. So for me, right, I typically wanted to give the audience a couple of takes away from this call is that I think PTOF actually demonstrated a very strong tooling and also a vision that actually empowers the game creators and all that, right? So that actually the games creators are able to use their SDKs and all that. They do look into this portion, which is if you look into other gaming platforms and all that, mostly are just publishers and gamers journey and all that. But in P12, this is where it actually takes a very good platform and foundation, right, for game creators and all that to actually come on board, not only to just playing the games, but also if you're a game creator yourself, you can come in and leverage those skills and those tools as well. So in that article that you just mentioned, right, Claire, how we come into play a part is that from an infra point of view, how we actually provide such solutions and all that to help them actually making sure that the reliability of the service, and if they were to publish games on BNB chain, how we actually do it together. I think a lot of these are boils down to partnerships and all that we work together, to identify some of the things that we can develop together, and also building on a strong services that we look after the scalability of the service as well. So that's where we brainstorm together from that front. So these are the two takeaways that I wanted the audience to be able to digest from these very short conversations itself. The details of the articles and all that are in the article, right? Like how do we go about do it, telling us what infra that we can provide and what do we do out of it as well. So those are the things that I'll keep in the details from there. I do wanted to chip in Jimmy's thought and all that as well, in case I missed anything important, if there's any, Jimmy.
Yeah, actually, I just want to share from the infrastructure layer perspective, because we are the infrastructure service provider. For the GameFi industry, a lot of the unique requirements or unique cases, for example, airdrop or kind of to improve the gamers' experiences, to have the faster throughput and a reliable data access layer, this kind of things. So I think the general blockchain itself sometimes cannot meet the requirements, especially if the game studio wants to build a very popular games on top of the blockchain. So we want to solve the problem. The specific problem for the GameFi, or from for the game studios, from the customization, or from the application chain. So that's the purpose why we have this kind of the research report, because we have work together with different game platforms together to identify the potential or existing challenges we are facing, especially for the games, right? So when we talk about the application chain, people always think it's kind of the private or hybrid chain that only for the game studio or game platforms. Basically, that's true. We want to have kind of the full control of the application chain, and we have the fast and reliable network environments, and we can do some customizations to increase the gamers' experiences. We can design the token economy to make the game platform sustainable from the token economy perspective. So this kind of things will be very difficult to be implemented in the public chain or general purpose chain. So that's the reason why we want to have this kind of the enterprise solution, or enterprise, or we can call it a professional solution for the GameFi industry. So it's kind of we did the work from the either from the fundamental technical improvements. For example, we introduce a kind of parallelism or customization, and also we can also help the from the token economy design perspective. We can provide this kind of consultants or recommendation or best practices from our experiences to our partners. Yeah.
So to summarize the research, if it correct me if I'm wrong, but there would be 2 points that any GameFi project would be able to expect from this collaboration. The first one is the universal environment, whereas the developers or the programmers of the game will be able to establish customized solution that will fit into the games. That is not gonna be available for any other type of platform. And the second one is the partnership and the other activities that we can do together in the future in order to support the game, to nurture the community, or to bring the game into the next level.
Exactly. Yes.
Thank you so much. And let's get back to P12 team. Can you tell us a little bit more about your game editor Plaza, and what is the plan to achieve, and what can we apply this project in 2023?
Right. So yeah, I just want to quickly comment on what Jimmy and Freddie said, which is very crucial, and we totally agree with it. To reach optimal conditions for Web3 gaming, as we call it, right? Web3 gaming projects, in order to have a better throughput and all those optimal conditions, to get more gamers to operate it in a nicer state. Yes, so it's very important. And going back to the Plaza topic, right? So Plaza Editor, as I was saying before, we had a team of 600 plus developers building it for over 2 years. It's based on Unreal 4. So this might be a more of an in-depth introduction of Plaza and what it can do, what's the key features, and what do we imagine it to serve as a role in the future of Web3 gaming, right? So first of all, we have a very robust asset libraries. So basically all the virtual assets, the visuals are pre-built in the libraries. So we definitely skip the artistic part, the design part of game building or game development, right? That it's according to our own experience, that's a main pain point in the game development industries, whether in Web 2 or Web 3. Is that small game studios, they can't get access to good artistic supports. So given that fact, they're unable to just deliver good looking or beautiful objects designed within the games, right? And second of all, we support style fusions, which stands for a aesthetical inclusivity for all type of gaming assets with different styles, right? That's a very key function in metaverse as well. As we, as back in very, very long time ago, that somebody write in the book Snow Crash, or perhaps what we saw on Ready Player One, right? The style fusions is inevitability especially in the metaverse, right? Different styles, different aesthetic, they must be able to coexist in one scene. And with proper toolkits like Plaza editors, we were able to do that, and we do support it. And it can also be expanded to the interoperability of NFT assets, gaming assets across different universe, right? And that can be implemented into different games, different ecosystems in the future as well. That's pretty important. And lastly, I want to talk about user-generated contents. So with Plaza Editor, we believe that professional studios or platforms like us, we build prefabs. We build prefabs for games, right? And user-generated contents, what we call UGC, they build on top of it. They add their own desired elements into the prefabs and make it a desirable games for them, right? And it's a giant community, so we see all kind of diversified, versatile contents that we see on the ecosystem every day. That just really, as I just said, inject vibrancies into the ecosystem as we have new contents from different players, updated into the ecosystem every day, right? That's very important, and we believe that it will serve. It will be a futuristic form in the Web3 gaming space. And yeah, that's about Playza Editor. And if Boyang have anything to add on to it, feel free to chime in. Yeah.
Right. So as I talked about some of the features and design decisions we have in our architecture, but ultimately to the users and players, the key element here, the key message here is that we will be able to generate a lot of content, a lot of games. Some of these games will be created by amateurs, those who have a dream to create their own games, but were unable to do so because of the high cost for creation. With that hurdle cleared away, many people will be able to create their own games, and we will see a wave of new contents coming up. And this will all happen in the first and second quarter of 2023 in the P12 platform. So do keep an eye on that.
Thank you so much for the sharing. Do let me know of any of the milestone because I'm very pumped by what you just shared. To us, I think that the concept of editor Playza is really close to what blockchain is about. Is about empowering anyone, regardless of who they are, their financial status, their educational level or creativity, and everything is just very decentralized. So I really hope that one day we'll be able to see the environment getting improved by a lot of content generated by the crowd. And this is exactly the purpose that we pioneers are trying to create and to nurture the community for the next year. Let's move on. So one of the activities that are very popular in blockchain, in cryptocurrency projects, which are airdrops, there are a lot of controversy around this kind of activity. Some said that they just attract like bounty hunters. Some said that this is a very good way to nurture the community and to reward them with their effort of growing and helping you as a project. So for P12 team, I would like to ask more about one of your famous activity, which is the P12 Genesis airdrop. I think it is quite a blast in social media regarding how much people are talking about it and the reward from both the NFTs and the physical rewards as well. So what is the result of that? And is there any lesson learned? Is there any case study that you want to share with the projects that would like to do the same thing?
Sure. Yep. So a brief intro about P12 Genesis Soulbound NFT airdrop. So basically, P12 use Steam authentication. You can log into your Steam account on P12's website. By logging in, you automatically bind your Steam account with your P12 account. And also, you will be able to claim a corresponding Soulbound token, which is non-tradable in our ecosystem, which stands for your identity. Right? It works for gamer and developer both. And so far, we have over 1.06 million Steam gamers verified in P12 platform, right? And we were able to see, upon their approval, we were able to see gamers' Web2 gaming credentials, like what type of games that they played, what type of assets that they owned, how many monies that they spend on certain games. Right, all the records are public. You can, if you're curious about what type of gamers that P12 platform has currently, feel free to visit airdrop.p12.games and check on our leaderboards. Right, you will find the top leaderboards dudes. Their account are just crazy. Right, it's a crazy accounts worth of tens of thousands of dollars. Right? And
yeah, it is.
And a quick comment on the results. Essentially, we don't call it a result because it's an ongoing event for ever since June of 2022. So upon the first kickstart of the Genesis airdrop, we were able to nail over 500K verified Steam gamers in P12 platform in the time of, I think, 3 to 4 weeks. Right, and a steadily growth after that, eventually now staying stable at 1.06 million users. We also have over 640K plus on-chain NFT holders, unique wallet address. So that's some stats so far, and it definitely won't stop here. As we all know that Steam has tens of millions of users, right? This is just a small part of it, and not to mention that many of the gamers on Steam's are unaware of Web3 gamings and unaware of what we're doing over here, right? All the infrastructures that we're building, all the good contents that we're curating in the space, just to get ready for the next big wave to onboard, as many Web2 gamers as possible. And speaking of Web2 gamers, in P12 Genesis airdrop or in the community verified users, we have a bunch of Web2 gamers as well, right? Gamers that first heard of Web3 gaming and heard that their Steam account can actually go to somewhere else and claim a status token or a soulbound token, as we call it, right? It's the first time for them, and it's very interesting and I would say that charming for many of the gamers to get a Web3 gaming profiles and sort of carry it on or inherit their gaming journeys from here, right? So we find that very accomplishing, and we will not stop here, as I just said. And yeah, let's carry forward, and looking forward to the next 10 million gamers verified in P12 platform.
All right.
Right.
So,
Some
sorry?
quick stats to be added. Some of the top gamers, they have thousands of games in their library, and for items like skins, cosmetic items, some of the top players, they will have skins worth more than $500,000 according to third-party marketplaces. And these are all pretty shocking stats. On top of these, we realize that a large percentage of all of these gamers will have CS:GO or Dota in their gaming library, and that actually inspired us to host the esports campaign in collaboration with TI, Dota International Tournament. So these are some of the interesting stats. This really is just a start. We are very thrilled to see the passion coming from gamers. But what's more important next would be the actual launch of the gaming platform, where now gamers will finally be able to play their games and create more games in the platform. So this profile will be carried over, and it will find more use and more rights and benefits in the gaming platform itself.
It sounds really interesting. I'm sorry, Freddie, Jimmy, but I have so many questions surrounding this case study that I would like to ask P12 team. So please bear with me a little bit, because I'm sure that this is also the question that other GameFi projects would like to learn more in terms of doing airdrops. So Isaac or Boyang, please help me. I understand that this is a great movement towards the Web2 community gamers. And it is very exciting for them to finally learn more about Web3 in a safe way. Is there any barriers or difficulties that you guys heard from these Web2 communities when they participate in this airdrop campaign? And how do you overcome it?
Right, I can take this one. So there are definitely many hurdles, many obstacles for Web2 gamers to onboard. Among these, the need to actually set up your wallet, and the need to have a gas fee in your account will be two major ones. Setting up a wallet is no small deal. You have all your seed phrases, backing up, private key and all. This is headache enough. But gas fee really stops many Web2 players from actually mint their NFT and complete their onboarding process, because right, how do they get that gas fee in the first place? How do they, even if they hope to do so, they have difficulties transferring their fiat money into, say, BNB so that they can pay for the gas fee. So on this note, NodeReal and all the app chain solutions could be a great push in terms of Web3 adoption by promoting a more lightweight gas fee, or by promoting a way where the project can actually fund the players' addresses by giving them some gas fees to kickstart. Yeah, these are some of the technical hurdles. But on top of this, there's always this division between Web2 gamers and Web3 community in terms of their views and the biases towards Web3 and crypto. Many traditional hardcore gamers will still see all NFTs and tokens, wallets, and blockchain as a form of fraud or scam. Well, that takes time, and P12, along with many other great projects, are definitely on the way of gradually convincing and changing that perception. So these are some of the hurdles that we can think of.
Yeah, maybe I can add more comments here. I cannot agree with you more because for the Web2 developers, or even the Web2, Web2 gamers, even to the Web2 developers, this kind of the technical challenge is kind of the obstacle to have the mass adoption. That is why we are here. We want to, using our innovative solutions, the enterprise solutions, to reduce the hurdle to get more people on board. And for example, we can working on the account abstraction to provide kind of the social login using the social media or something. And also for the gas fee, I think we can provide kind of the gas list solutions with the customizations of the application chain. So this is something that we can, our application chain solutions can chime in. In general purpose chain, that would be very difficult. Yeah.
Understood. So we are observing a very good case study that we can combine the technology customization in order to apply into mass adoption and to reduce as much as possible all of the barriers that the users will have to encounter when penetrating into Web3 world. One last question about this case study regarding the Soulbound token. So we see that this is a means to verify that profile. So it just omit the incognito part of the users. So back in the days when we do airdrop, we can see a lot of cheaters, and we cannot verify if they are real or not, just a line of wallet address. But right now we have that Soulbound token, so we know who they are, we know their history without violating their privacy too much, like in the Web2. So is there any plan for NodeReal or P12 team to utilize this Soulbound token? Let's talk in the terms of B2C, like how we can improve their experience based on their profile. And let's talk about B2B as well. Like how can we partner with other game projects using our customer base that we know about their interests and their past data?
Boyang, you want to take this one, or you want me to do it?
Sure. Right. So speaking of the empowerment and benefits come with the Soulbound token, pretty clearly we have stated at the beginning that all the Soulbound tokens will be entitled to a certain amount of P12 token airdrop. Right. That's the most direct benefits for all Soulbound token holders, and this token will be all utilized in the P12 gaming platform. So all of the features that we are baking, the governance features, the staking, the DEX, and swap, right? So this will be very direct, and moving forward, the users will not only use this token, airdrop tokens to use various features, they also keep using the Soulbound token as their sort of a profile, right? They can integrate further gaming credentials from other platforms. so that this kind of forms a complete gaming profile that gamers can show to others, can compete with each other on the leaderboard, and they can share on social media. These are the two main utilities that we believe will be pretty interesting for all gamers.
Yeah, adding on to what Boyan just said, in the Web 2 eras of gaming, there's many diversified gaming platforms out there. Right? We have Steam, we have Epic, we have Blizzard, right? And they have different games on different platforms. There's no way that you can see a gamer's life, or what they have been playing, the whole thing in one place, right? So sort of acting as a combinators, it's very interesting to see gamers' profile being merged into one identity in Web3, and they can sort of carry on the journeys over here. So that's a very interesting take, and we find much of the gamers love and passion towards that. So that's how we imagine the future empowerment of this Soulbound token to be, and perhaps integrating more gaming data or credentials from other platforms, and also carrying P12 Genesis Soulbound NFT. It's sort of also like a membership pass as well. You're able to participate in all kinds of campaigns, all for free in P12 platforms. These campaign comes with benefits. I'm sorry. They're usually in the form of NFTs, stable coins, or other things like mysterious box and all that. So yeah, that basically sums up with the current perks of having a P12 Genesis NFT. And for those of you that are listening, if you don't have one yet, and if you do have a Steam account currently, go to airdrop.p12.games and claim yours. It's very simple. Follow the steps. It won't even take you like 5 minutes. Yeah. And thanks for the question.
Thank you so much for sharing this case study. I think that to summarize everything, it is a very creative way to apply both technology, NFT, and airdrop marketing campaigns into one. And also it's answer the question of what's next, because in this market nowadays, we see a lot of similar campaigns, airdropping NFTs, airdropping tokens, but then what's next? Because there's no utility of those things, and there's no real value behind that in the long run. But right now we have solved a lot of different goals into just one campaign. And we can also connect the traditional world, different gaming platform into one, and we can also help the users to expand their knowledge about cryptocurrency, about blockchain, and carry on their journey with the passion in game. So this is a lesson that I think would be very beneficial for any projects that would like to follow the route. And if you are still wondering about the technology or how to do it, you can always come to Not Real team for the solution, or you can talk to P12 for more experience sharing. And okay, let's move on. Talk about infrastructure right now. We have a lot of partnership promises at the beginning of this talk. We have the case study, we have the campaigns. So in order to empower the next generation of games, not the GameFi trend that we just see that passed a long time ago, last year, or the beginning of this year. The next generation, I'm talking about metaverse, I'm talking about Web 2 to Web 3 with real graphic and strong gameplay that really attractive people. What infrastructure is needed in order to execute all of that and move the famous Web 2 games that we love so much to Web 3?
Yep. Sure. Sounds good. I wanted to let Jimmy take the question first, because on the infra side of things, and I think he has eagerly to share a lot more experience on this front that we have been talking to a lot of clients and players as well. So I'll chip in later. Jimmy, you first.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, actually, for the mass migration from the Web 2 to Web 3, I think the mass adoption of scalability is the biggest problem we want to solve. I mean, the scalability, that means we want to have higher throughput. At the same time, we want to have the different to meet the various specific requirements from the ecosystems, applications, and to the developers, right? So I think the application chain emerged as an ideal solution to handle this kind of these issues. For example, if for the application chain, some of the projects, such as the order book protocols or GameFi, may have higher requirements of performance. So for the general blockchain, I think it is much lower. But for the application chain, but by nature, it is designed for high performance. For example, the average TPS for the application chain surpasses 1,000 per second, which means the application chain offers the ability to remain high throughput and low latency, for the gamers. I think that the gamer is not very patient, right? Especially if the transaction response is taking more than a couple of seconds. People are very, the gamers' experiences are heavily impacted. So except the performance requirements, another thing I'd like to talk about is the customization, the flexibility. So application chain will have more flexibility compared with the general purpose chain. So including to have its own tokenomics, the special gas model, and the governance model, etc. So most of the large scale, I mean, especially large scale GameFi projects, will require super high throughput to optimize the user experiences. And additionally, the GameFi projects also requires, such as the airdrop we just mentioned, right? Such as the gasless solutions or special gas model, which cannot be covered by the general purpose chain. And this kind of the scenarios cannot be easily met by the computing focused blockchains. So we want to have this kind of the customization or flexibility to turn to define or design different application chain from the layer 2 to set chain, from the ZK rollup to the optimistic rollup, these kind of things to meet the different requirements. And another thing is that we can have the better token economy, which means we can help the games to sustain or help the game projects to make profits. So there are actually two kinds of fees users pay when interacting with applications on the with the blockchain. One is the gas fee, and another is the native application fees, right? So native application fees are essentially for the application's revenue stream, such as platform trading fees or spreads for lending protocols. So these kind of things can help the applications to capture more value to incentive communities or increase the adoption of the application. So on the contrary, I think the gas fee I think should be reduced even further. So if we want to have a better user experiences, I mean, probably game application or game projects will want to cover the gas fee for the gamers. So from the gamers' perspective, they don't have to worry about the gas fee. They even don't want to learn the basic concept because they just want to focus on the game itself. So this kind of things can be achieved by the application chain instead of the general purpose chain, right? So we can do a lot of things on top of that. So yeah, that's pretty much, actually, we are working with our partners to define and to optimize our application chain from the set chain to the layer 2 chains to help our partners like Project 12 to have better user experiences. Yeah. Freddie, do you want to add more add-ons?
No, you covered all pretty well, man. Yep, all good then.
From P12 team, do you have any add in for this question?
Yeah, I mean, I can add on my personal opinions on that. So for infrastructure, mine could be very micro instead of some macro overviews of infrastructures. as I heard this from many gamers, that gamers forget their passwords in a regular basis, right? They're particularly password forgetting group, right? So having wallets to be sort of their logins to other games or gaming accounts, it's just not working for the group of gamers here, either in Web 2 or Web 3. So particle wallets, social recoveries, and all that, these are beyond important, to be honest. And moving into 2023, I think perhaps in the Web3 gaming industries, the more adoptions in regards to social recoveries and having that built in games could be a trend. Yeah, and it's a very important infrastructure as well, but in a very micro level. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, because the wallet setup and losing their password could be a disaster if you want to push the mass, a lot of the gamers on the Web3 world. So actually, NoteReal is working on the the account abstraction to reduce this kind of the risk, and to provide the better gamers experiences for the for the community.
True. Boyan, do you have anything to add on to this?
No.
Okay, so just let me know more about that password recovery, because I am a very forgetful person, and I can't imagine how many games save I have lost, and I have to start all over again just because of my bad habit. So it is actually very, very helpful, no matter how small it is, because, well, at the end of the day, the users, they don't care about how major our improvement or our revolution, right? They just know that if my experience is getting better, if I can play the game smoother. And I have heard some of the feedback about Web3 games like this. The DApp in general and GameFi, they are ugly, they are costly, they are slow, they are not interesting. The only thing that I play it is because of the money I might get that will get into inflation soon after a while of playing. So I think it might be a far fetch for the pioneers in here. But how about this crazy question? How long would it take for a good game like Final Fantasy or something similar in terms of graphic and gameplay to be featured on Web3 and become decentralized? And what kind of infrastructure that we need to research in the future in order to get to that stage?
Right. This is a question that's often asked, especially from outside of the Web3 circle. The fair comparison here is to actually look at how long did it take for Web2 gaming to come all the way here to produce all of these classic games, right? It's never easy. Creating a game was very hard, and creating a game that is loved by many players, this is again, it is artistic, right? Is inspirational. So you cannot fully industrialize or formularize this. So P12's take on this is that we would make game creation much cheaper, so as to accelerate the day when these great games will come to Web3. If we are to take a wild guess, I would say 2023. Hopefully, we can see some great games, great Web3 games coming out that's on par with the great games that we love from Web2, from traditional space.
And also, not to mention that there are already some big Web2 gaming giants looking into having their business involved in Web3, perhaps exploring possibilities in Web3. and on-chain or decentralized games, right? These gaming giants with famous gaming IPs, as far as I know. So, yeah, I mean, the future are promising, to be honest, for Web3 gamings. More and more people, business, companies, giants, they start to see the necessity of having decentralizations implemented into games. So yeah, I mean, I would say that it's a matter of time, but yeah, as Boyan just said, a wild guess. Then let's wait for it.
Yeah, another thing I'd like to mention is that we want to have this, the technology built with the gaming, the game development tools and SDKs. So that means we want to reduce the complexity of developing a Web3 game, so that the developers can pick up these kind of things and learn to start building without learning too much about the new concepts. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. So this is something I think we can work together to increase not only the gamers' experiences, but also the game builders' experiences. That's something people always ignore, or people is not putting in enough efforts into that field. So I think that will be very helpful for the mass migration or adoption of the Web3 technology to the games.
I know that we are right on top of the hour, that we still have 10 minutes to go, but I'm taking this opportunity to share a lot more why and how, right? The next outlook and all that would be very important, right? How Boyan and Isaac and Jimmy mentioned, right? So for traditional companies and all that, we are seeing a lot of interest that are upcoming and all that, and why we have been promoting or maybe talking a lot more about AppChain. Taking a step back of the idea where it actually comes from, right? Is that, this is a additional chain where we pump all the some of the traffics and all that to the side chain, where this application chain, right, actually helps to improve the customer journey and experience as well. So when they migrate from Web 2 to Web 3, right, actually the seamlessness and all that are playing, and the experience is good. Thinking about today, BNB application side chain, right, there is already a BNB ecosystem for DEX, for PancakeSwap, for NFTs and all that. So these are some of the channels that I think it can be a very good use case. We already have the ecosystem that is ever ready, and then we just needed more of these Web2 giants or maybe players and all that to take a step on this front as well. Sharing and riding on to all the points that everybody just mentioned and all that, right? So thinking about application chain, why is it so powerful and good for these kind of use cases and all that? Is because you are able to customize in a way that customize smart contracts to your preferred gas token, preferred gas fees and all that. This will help improve the customer's journey, or maybe the gamer's journey, right? In a way that when they first come into the chain, it's not just about, oh, I need to have enough funds to pay gas fees and all that. But when you do airdrops, rewardings and all that, to that experience somehow will be turned around and all. And on top of it, you will see a lot of events like airdrops, events, SBT tokens and all that, which later we are trying to make it to loyalty programs and all that. So all these are very rich and fruitful in a way that we will do this all together to really grow the ecosystem and really encourage the games and all that to come into the Web3 world as well. In terms of it, right, and an application chain is also decentralized and is open and is transparent as well, because they have their own validator sets to validate transactions and all that. And in NodeReal, right, we do one-stop solutions. That's where we also provide like testnets, mainnets, even Explorer, bridging services and all that we can recommend to our partners like Seabridge or so on. So those are the use cases that we already have in place, and we do have an article upcoming, talking a lot more about examples and use cases as well. We already have one for application chain. You can build it on our websites as well. So we will be a lot more focuses on really bridging and solving a lot more of these use cases, like for example, wallets and all that. We are working closely with them and see how to bring in the MPC wallets solutions and all. But that's not on the NodeReal side, but with the partners and all that as well. So we continue to embrace that technology and move forward with that.
I see. I see. I think that all of us have made a very good and valid point, because people, especially those are not familiar with Web3, they are thinking about this technology as something quite magical, like get ready, player one theme instantly. Whereas this is a long journey, and we're still exploring in this very early stage. And during that journey, we will figure out more applications, activities, and invention to complete the final solution. So let's get to the final question of today, because we are very close to the end of 2022 already, and the future is very close to us now. What do you guys envision the Web3 gaming industry next year? I know that we have already talked about a few parts of it, but I would like to know more about your personal take on the ultimate form of GameFi world and Web3 gaming in 2023, and how, as in each individual team, you guys can support the projects in getting to that vision. Let's start with P12 team first.
Yes, I think Boyang can take this one. And also, before he start, I just want to quickly comment on the word ultimate form. That being, gaming being a very long curation process. The ultimate form wouldn't come any sooner. So perhaps we're talking about the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And Boyang, you can take over.
Yeah. So we really have firm belief and great faith in gaming. We see these in a few different layers, but ultimately we see gaming world creating games is the process of recreating the world that we are living. We there's a high chance, quoting CZ as well, right? Echoing him. There's a high chance that we live in a simulation and we are recreating our own simulation. So our projection about gaming is that we are really creating a massive virtual world where there is financial systems in the world, there is governance system. Gaming will be as big as the reality that we live in.
Yep. Then from our side as well, I think we are in similar synergies and alignment that we do feel that the gaming industries and all that will continue to bloom and grow as well. I think today is still very infancy stage that you see that one or two big game studios that are really exploring or coming to this world. But imagine the next year or so, right, there will be more and more companies that wanted to explore this as well. I think now is the time that everybody. Education is one. We are educating, we are sharing a lot more blogs and how to do it and best practices and all that. I think a lot of these are very crucial while we are building, right? I think Boyang and Isaac share the same vision with us, that we are also educating the community and all that. We are sharing a lot of videos. We are doing AMA 2 days and all that, just to share some of the best use cases and best practices and some of the stuff that we observed so far. So this can be a very good platform of foundations that gather knowledge, work together and network around, and make sure that we continue to grow on this space as well. We have seen gaming transform, right, from play to earn to learn to earn, and there are a lot more things or use cases that it can actually be materialized in that way as well. So that's where we have put a lot of faith and wanting to do a lot more application chains and all that together with the gaming industries.
Yeah. From my perspective, my personal experiences is gaming is the new form of art. It's kind of the representation of how people think or what people believe in, right? So, but I would like to talk about from the technical perspective. We are in the very early stage of Web3 and GameFi, and I think in the 2023, a lot of the breakthrough or a lot of the development of technologies like a wallet abstraction or account abstraction will come, and at the same time, a lot of the improvements about application chain itself will also make the Web3 games even faster. So I don't want to hear people claim that Web3 game is slow, right? So this is something we, as an infrastructure service provider, we can help or we can improve to make the better gaming experiences. I really hope that more and more people will enjoy the Web3 games.
Thank you so much for the share, guys. And this is also the last question of our talk today. I hope that the audience here have heard more about the case study, the promises of the future, and a very bright progression that we are moving toward in 2023. Once again, on behalf of BNB Chain, I would like to send you my warm regards for the sharing, for the support so far. And we look forward to more collaboration, not in just talking and sharing, but also into real activities and partnerships that we can bring more values to the communities and the gamers in the future. Thank you guys so much for joining today.